Alright guys, here we have a 1998 Plymouth or Dodge Neon that one of my best friends had given to me. It had been in his garage since 2005. This car definitely has a lot of sentimental value to him and also to me because we kind of grew up with this car as teenagers, ripping around, having a good time. So we've got it to the shop. We're beginning to assess the car. Keep in mind it hasn't seen the light of day or ran in the last 20 years, so the car is absolutely filthy. Working our way through the car, beginning to wash off the mud so that we can start to actually work on the car. This is just after a wash, and already the car is looking like night and day in difference there. The car also came with a bunch of performance parts, including a body kit that were never actually installed on the car. So we still have the body kit stashed, a bunch of OEM parts, and then these were the funky wheels. So moving on from there, we're actually now going to begin to try and get the car to run again. It was not overly willing at first. Ultimately, we figured out in the end that the fuel pump had seized up. We ended up replacing the whole entire sending unit, which parts for these cars are still relatively accessible, which is great. So after draining out all the horribly stinky fuel, we got the new sending unit in there. And here I am starting to unload the car of all its assorted parts. We'll get into that a bit more later. Now we are putting in some more fresh fuel to see if we can get it to fire up. Throwing in a little battery, taking out the silencer for max jam, and here we go. Now, as you saw there with the car firing up, that's still running on the 20-year-old oil, the old spark plugs, the old everything. So now that we know the engine can run, we are actually going to get into replacing all the fluids, the plugs, catching up on the maintenance. Here we go with the first oil change in 20 years, and now we have the old exhaust off of the car, and we are test fitting some new wheels we're going to put on the car as well. And then right from the wheels into the brake fluid there. Then from there we are going to remove the rest of the exhaust. Then a quick brake overhaul and a little bit of a color match there. We got our Neon ready to stop, as good as it looks. Then off camera there we have our long tube header on, and finally going to catch up on the luster of the car. So we're starting off with a clay bar and then into a compound polish, and then lastly we will finish with a finishing polish. It really came out looking amazing. Like, the car looks almost like new. This paint really has held up well over the time that the car has sat. Going along with the carbon fiber just to get all the fallout off it. And then after detailing the body, we have to detail our sweet new wheels. So we went with kind of a bronze, which we thought worked really well with the green car, and definitely did not disappoint. So after getting the wheels on the car with our sweet new Gorilla lugs, from there we are moving on to complete the rest of the exhaust for the car. So it did come with a mandrel bent 2.5 pipe, but it did not have flanges, it did not have hangers, and it also did not have a muffler. So we're kind of just improvising as we go to complete this exhaust, and in the end, the results were definitely worth the effort. However, our muffler did not exit where we wanted it to, so again, we are continuing to improvise there with a bit of a tuner style, super pokey muffler coming out the back. And now we are finishing up our last little flange to attach it, and here we go. And now for the moment of truth. So I'm gonna pull out on the road here. We're driving. We are on the road. We're going 100 kilometers per hour. I'm fucking terrified. So naturally, the first thing you do after your car has sat for 20 years and you change the oil is immediately go out and race one of your buds in their Honda Civic. He did win, but we can talk about that later. And from there, we are moving on to further detail the Neon and try to make it a bit more comfortable to be in. So we got all the dust out, we're cleaning the whole interior, de-dusting everything. Now we actually have the carpet back in, which originally wasn't there, along with the center console. And from there we've done the trunk carpet, the rear strut bar is new, and now we have our rear seats going in, our rear quarter panel trim, and we're back to our single bucket for now, but not for long, because I'm about to donate these other Sparco seats that I had in another parts car into this car. So we did actually get proper seat bases for these. However, we still do not have proper seat belts, and the enhancements do not stop there. So we do have a carbon fiber trunk, and we had a pretty ratty carbon fiber spoiler. We've removed that. This spoiler is off a first generation Impreza RS. It kind of suits the shape of the Neon, and I thought it'd be cool to carry some sort of Subaru component over to the Neon, and it actually really looks at home on the car. I was really happy with how that turned out, and kind of again modernizes the car, takes it away from the classic Ricer to something a bit more contemporary. And there she is outside, looking super pretty, ready to be enjoyed. The list of things that we want to do and achieve with the Neon definitely don't stop there and don't end at the end of this video. There's still a lot of things we want to do to further enhance the car, make it more enjoyable for daily and recreational. Then last but not least with the car, it has never been winter driven, but it has also never been rust proof. So we are going to drill and fill all the panels with rust proofing, along with spray the whole underside of the car. In the future, I'd like to completely strip this chassis, powder coat everything, do new bushings, but for the meantime, this will help keep the rust away. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't.